Happy New Year. Welcome to Agenda Edina, a news program summarizing the actions taken in these chambers that affect you most. I'm your host, Dorothea Marty. The first City Council meeting of the new year will include Josh Sprague and Joni Bennett taking the oath of office as council members. Sprague succeeds Scot, Housh, who did not seek re-election after having been a member of the City Council since 2001.
My final word is just to say thanks to the residents of Edina for the opportunity to serve, and I'm bullish on Edina, and I'm looking forward to living here for a long time.
During Housh's tenure, the City Council approved the reconstruction of Edina City Hall, Fire Station Number 1, and the Public Works and Park Maintenance Facility. Developments such as 5000 France and the Westin Galleria Edina, and expansions of Fairview Southdale Hospital and Edina Public Schools. The city also developed a capital improvement program and received its first AAA bond ratings. The council honored him at his last meeting, December 21st.
And all Edina residents hereby express their thanks and appreciation to Scot Housh for his many years of dedication to the community as a member of the Edina City Council. Well, Scot, thank you.
Housh served as Mayor Pro Tem for 5 years. The council will appoint a new Mayor Pro Tem this month. One of the City Council's last pieces of business for 2010 was adoption of the 2011 city budget. The approved 2011 budget includes a 1.15% increase in the city's property tax levies, increasing the 2011 general fund budget to nearly $28.7 million, up about $725,000 from 2010. The approved budget includes funding to continue current service levels, add new vehicles and equipment, and make capital improvements for city facilities around the community. No new jobs will be created in 2011. The 2011 budget includes sufficient funding for a 1% cost of living adjustment for all regular employees. The council did not amend the proposed 2011 budget to include funding for collective bargaining agreements that settle contracts above 1%.
Basically, it is a status quo budget where no new hires and continuation of the freezes in certain positions, fire, public works, and that we had in 2009 and 2010.
An arbitrator recently decided that the city must give police officers a 3% pay increase for 2010 and another 3% increase for 2011. 4 of the city's unions have not settled contracts for 2010 or 2011. The city is working to resume contract discussions with those 4 bargaining units.
We're involved in active negotiations with those other 4 units. Right now, we hope to have those settled as soon as we can in 2011.
The city will need to cover employee compensation costs that exceed the approved 2011 budgeted levels within the bottom line of the approved 2011 city budget. A scary moment on the ice at Edina's Braemar Arena has a happy ending, thanks to the quick thinking of an emergency medical technician and an invaluable piece of life-saving equipment. Edina 16's Marty Dahl has more.
For longtime hockey referee Kevin Whipple,
I had no idea what happened.
a typical night on the ice took a sudden, unexpected turn.
Last thing I remember, I started feeling a little bit dizzy as I was skating down towards the corner.
While officiating a girls' hockey tournament at Braemar Arena in late November, the Minnetonka man collapsed to the ice, suffering from a sudden heart attack.
I saw Kevin go down, and it just didn't look, it just looked unusual just the way he fell.
At that moment, Justin Johnson, an EMT with the Minneapolis Fire Department, let his training take over.
The first thing I thought was, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. And then the second thing I did was I yelled for someone to call 911 and grab an AED.
Johnson used the arena's automated external defibrillator to provide a shock to the unconscious man's heart.
When we shocked him, he pretty much came back instantly.
AEDs are really a crucial tool in cardiac arrest.
Edina Fire Chief Marty Shear says that while CPR provides blood and oxygen to vital organs,
stay clear, shocking.
It's the shock from an AED that actually restores normal rhythm to an arresting heart.
It actually stops the heart, gets the heart started again, and when it gets started again, it generally goes back to a a normal rhythm.
Edina paramedics transported Whipple to the ER where he made a full recovery.
We need more of these things around and in public places, and more people trained in CPR so that they know what to do in this kind of circumstance.
Now for someone suffering a heart attack like Whipple, AEDs like this one can literally be a lifesaver. And officials say bystanders shouldn't be afraid to use them.
Very simple. It tells you when to shock or when not to shock. You really almost can't go wrong with these things.
Whipple says he expects to be back on the ice before too long, and he knows he has both the AED and Johnson to thank for that.
You know, I never really had the chance to thank Justin up to this point, and it's good to meet him in a little bit different set of circumstances than the last time we were together.
I just did the best I could under the circumstances.
Well, you did a fine job, I think.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
With Steve Christensen, I'm Marty Dahl.
I'll get out. There you go.
Edina 16.
In addition to Johnson, a number of bystanders rushed to Whipple's aid that night. They were all recognized for their actions at an Edina City Council meeting last month. The City of Edina's 11 outdoor ice skating rinks have opened for the season. The rinks are at Arden, Cornelius School, Creek Valley, Highlands, Lewis, Normandale, Pamela, Strachauer, Todd, Walnut Ridge, and Weber Parks. All locations have warming houses and hockey rinks. Warming house hours are 4 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. Saturday, and 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. Sunday. General outdoor ice skating rinks are scheduled to remain open until February 21st. Centennial Lakes Park also features a 10-acre lake for skating. Ice is groomed daily by maintenance crews. Regular concession stands and skate rental hours are 4 to 9:30 p.m. Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. Saturday, and noon to 9:30 p.m. Sunday and most other non-school days. The ice rink is open at noon on weekdays to accommodate those who have their own ice skates. Minnesota saw near-record snowfalls in December, and there is plenty of winter left to come. The Edina Fire Department reminds residents who have hydrants in their yards to keep them cleared of snow. Edina 16, Steve Christensen has more.
Every second counts for firefighters putting out a blaze. When Minnesota gets hit with snow, having clear access to fire hydrants can make all the difference.
From the hydrants that, when they're buried in snow, we can't find them. We have maps on our trucks. Kind of sort of know where they're at, but when they're buried, it takes time.
Residents with fire hydrants on their property are responsible for keeping them clear and accessible after a snowfall, a fact many might not be aware of.
6 years ago, that house right over there burned down. It was in the middle of the winter. There was a lot of snow, and it certainly made me appreciate the importance of keeping hydrants available and open for quick response.
The fire department also wants residents to know just how much snow to clear.
So this is the ideal look we want to have when someone digs out a hydrant, try to get a clear space around here. When we come in with the fire truck and we pull our big hose off the truck, we tend to wrap this hydrant with that hose to hold it in place while the truck drives away. Got big boots on and gloves and stuff, and it's just nice to have this clear space to be able to do our work here.
Keeping your hydrant clear can save firefighters time as well as help them save lives.
I think it just seems like the right thing to do when there's a lot of snow.
For Edina 16, I'm Steve Christensen.
If you are unable to clear the snow out yourself, the fire department encourages residents to seek the help of a neighbor. Still to come, we'll bring you the story of a local country singer whose dream came true in time for the holidays. But first, coverage of a deadly house fire when we return.
Cold and snow continues throughout the day and late into the evening. My advice, folks, stay inside and stay warm.
I love that belt. I know, right? It looks so sophisticated. It really makes it look like you can take on the world. Yours is great too. Aw, and it's really comfortable.
Dude, where'd you get that belt?
What, this? I've always had this.
It's pretty sweet. I bet one would look good on me.
Well, there's one just like it right over there.
Oh, right on.
Welcome back to Agenda Edina. An early morning house fire last month claimed the life of an Edina resident. 74-year-old Anita Delegard died in her two-story home on the 7200 block of Lanham Lane after a fire broke out around 1 a.m. on December 14th. Fire crews learned that the woman's husband, Dwayne Delegard, had been able to escape from a second-story window, but that he believed his wife was still inside. Firefighters from Edina and neighboring departments began attacking the fire from inside the home, but were eventually driven out due to the fire's extreme heat. The blaze was controlled around 4:30 that morning, and responders resumed their search for the missing person. Officials say that although one person died in the fire, working smoke alarms did help save another life.
We want to stress the importance of a working smoke alarm. The person up in the second level of the home was awakened by the activation of the smoke alarm. He did try to get out through the hallway, but there was a lot of fire and smoke out there, so he ended up going out of a second floor window, but the smoke alarm actually did save his life.
The Minnesota State Fire Marshal's office is still investigating the cause of the fire. You may have heard about the movie Country Strong in theaters January 7th, but what you may not know is a singing competition associated with this film helped make an Edina woman's dream come true. Photojournalist Beth Gibbs and I have the story. Morgan Rowe has been singing since she was a kid.
When I was little, I had no idea that there were good and bad singers.
She just thought everyone could sing. Morgan has sung in choirs and concerts since elementary school, but when her mom suggested she enter the Country Strong Singing Challenge contest, she was reluctant. It wasn't until she considered the possible prize of $500 that Morgan decided to give it a shot.
My goal was, my parents told me that if I won this competition, I could put the money towards a horse I've been really wanting to buy.
Morgan has been working 2 jobs in an effort to buy a horse. So, with goal in mind, she got busy.
And I had about 3 days to prepare to even learn the song. I'd never heard this song before, ever.
Although Morgan loves to sing, getting up on stage is not her favorite thing to do.
She was really nervous before she went up there.
Joe Wright is a bartender at Toby Keith's in St. Louis Park, where the competition was held. He remembers Morgan's performance very well.
With Morgan, you could tell that she stood above everyone else with the crowd response.
Adam West from radio station K102 emceed the competition, and he agreed.
Now, I didn't get to judge, of course, but there was something about her performance, so I figured she would probably be in the top 5, maybe the top 3, something like that.
One more time, it's Morgan Rowe.
Despite the great audience response, after hearing 37 other performers, Morgan didn't think she stood a chance.
I thought there was no chance of me winning because there were some really great singers and some really tough competitions, so I was shocked to hear my name being announced.
While Morgan stood in shock, her family celebrated.
They were jumping up and down. I believe her mom almost stood on one of the stools. I looked at her, I'm like, you can't do that.
Immediately when I found out I won, I turned to my mom and I said, I get Wiley, which is the horse's name. And I just brought tears to my eyes because I'd been working so hard just to get him. 'Cause I'm country strong, hard to break, like the ground I grew up on.
Morgan and 15 other regional winners from across the country competed online, where voters chose the winner for the top prize of a trip to Nashville, an opportunity to meet a Sony Nashville music executive, and more. While Morgan didn't take home the top prize from the competition, her dream came true. She got her horse Wiley. Since its inception in 1998, LEED certified homes and commercial buildings have continued to develop all over the United States, proving to us that being green is not a fad, but a trend that's here to stay. Here's Edina 16's reporter Kaylin Martin with more on one of Edina's LEED certified spaces.
When it came down to the bottom line, Ed Bather was more interested in saving the environment than saving money.
We never have any trouble renting that office. It's pretty nice.
However, lucky for Bather, he's able to save a little bit of both.
My grandson, who is an engineer, talked to us about putting some solar panels on our roof. And we thought that sounded good. People will come in and want to be in a energy efficient building.
If you walk into a LEED building, you can tell that it was done the right way and that it benefits not only the people in the building, but in the community and in the whole world.
After more than 3 years of work, Bather completed the LEED certification process on his almost 40-year-old office complex. He replaced the light bulbs, toilets, cleaning supplies, and even the building's boiler.
And put 2 small boilers in. I think we've saved about 30–40% of a gas consumption.
LEED, which stands for Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design, is a universally recognized green building certification that's been around for over 10 years.
A businessman that would look at the bottom line probably would say this is not practical to do on an old existing building like this, but being a family-owned type building with a bunch of engineers around, we decided to do it, and we feel pretty good about it now. But we're glad it's over because it took quite an effort to do.
With Ray Widstrand, I'm Kaylin Martin, Edina 16.
Twin Cities Orthopedics' new location on West 65th Street recently opened as Edina's first LEED certified commercial project built from the ground up. The building includes sustainable features such as a green roof, high efficiency heating and cooling systems, rainwater harvesting for irrigation, high efficiency lighting, low flow plumbing, and more. Before we go, we want to highlight some of the many upcoming events in our community. In celebration of the winter season, Centennial Lakes Park will host the 21st Annual Winter Ice Festival from 1 to 5 p.m. Sunday, January 9th. Visitors to the park can have their faces painted and ride in a horse-drawn wagon. Ice Festival participants may bring their own equipment, but ice skates and kick sleds will be available for rental at the park Centrum. Ice sculpting demonstrations will also be given behind the Centrum on the terrace overlooking the lake. City Hall will be closed Monday, January 17th in observance of Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Finally, gather your family and neighbors for a night of free old-fashioned winter fun at the Winter Neighborhood Night Out, Friday, January 21st. Snowshoeing sponsored by Hoygards, other winter fun sponsored by the Edina Community Foundation, ice skating and more will keep you active. Warm up with hot cider and connect with people in your neighborhood. Stay warm and enjoy these fun community events. Thanks for watching this month's episode of Agenda Edina. I'm your host, Dorothea Marty.